Alright, I'm going to do a quick little video to show you how to set up your RobotC for future reference. You should be able to see right here, I'm just going to go click on it on the base. Now remember, this isn't like a Chrome web browser. I'm not going to open up my browser like I do on Chrome. Instead, it's on the desktop. You might need to minimize what you have open in order to go see it. Okay, it kind of looks like this. My settings I was kind of messing around with already, so it might look a little different, but here's the things you're going to need to do when you get started. I like to double click on it to make it nice and big. The first thing is we're going to go File, Open Sample Program. Now when I go to Open Sample Program, it's going to give me a little box like this. Up at the top, it's going to give me some things. Sometimes it opens in the right spot, sometimes it doesn't. Mine says Vex IQ here. I don't want that. I'm going to go back to Sample Programs. I have the Vex 2. So I'm going to make sure I go into Vex 2, and I'm going to open up into the PLTW, not the PLTW natural language, just the PLTW, and then I'm going to open this PLTW template right here. This is going to get me kind of all set up for what I need to do. Now I don't want to change the actual template, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do File, Save As, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to choose over into my little documents here, and I'm going to call this First Program. I'm going to spell it right, program, like that. Then I'm going to hit save, and then notice up here at the top, I can see my first program now is saved correctly. All right, cool. Notice in my programming, it has already all this set up for me. Anything in green, remember, it's going to ignore because we only look at the things in here. My first program we're going to write, and we're going to just try to turn on this motor for like 2 seconds. Okay, my next step is I need to go to Robot tab, and I am going to choose Platform Type. It might be set as Vex IQ. We do not have the Vex IQ. We need to set it to Vex 2.0 Cortex. So choose that, and then these over here will kind of change. These are our methods, just like we were looking at in our code combat. Next thing I'll need to do is go back into Robot, Platform Type, nope, I need my, oh yeah, Platform Type, and then at the bottom, I'm going to push this natural language PLTW, and it's going to give me an additional button over here, and these are going to be really useful. We use almost all of these as we're going. Next, I'm going to choose my motor and sensor setup, and I was playing around on here, and if you go into standard models, we're actually using the GTT test bed. If you look over at the picture, it's like, oh, that's almost exactly what we have, minus the claw. We're not going to use the claw, and that's okay. So I'll hit OK, and then up at the top, it'll now name and tell me where all the motors are currently going. Very cool. The next thing that I need to do, I think that might be everything. Let me just check and see if there's anything that I am missing. We opened our sample program. We did all our stuff. Cool, I think we're good. Now I'm going to do my first program in here, and my first program is I'm going to start the motor. And I'm going to go over into movement, and I can see start motor, and it tells me exactly what I need to write. And if I'm really lazy, I can actually just drag it over into my program. Oh, that was easy. So now I need my motor port. Okay, where is my motor again? Well, I can go into motor and sensor setup, click my motors. Okay, my right motor, I should have plugged it into port 2. And I can see this is the name of my motor. So I can call this here, my motor port, using camel case, right motor. Now I'll know where to go. My speed, if I'm not sure, if I go over here, it should be from negative 127 to 127. I'm going to kind of go in the middle, and I'm just going to go 60. And notice it turns red, so it's showing me that it's correct. It ends with a little semicolon. Remember, I need to have it wait for a second before the program ends. So I'm going to add a wait for 2 seconds, and any number I put in here actually goes as seconds. If I want, I can get rid of some of my lines. It doesn't really matter. Usually we try to go as short as possible. All right. Now for the very first time before you run it, you're going to need to connect. I don't know if you can see it up here. You want one of those little orange USBs. Oops, I ran. Little orange USBs. Plug it into your Vex bot and into your computer. The very first one you want to do is you want to push this firmware download up here. If you click that, it'll give you this warning. Don't do it. Yeah, we want to do it to update our Vex bots because they are pretty old. Sorry, it's running an old program that I was testing earlier. You might get a couple other buttons. Go ahead and push OK. Then I'm going to push download to robot. Let's close existing window. That's, oh, it's because I see, it was on my other screen. Okay, now it's good. Now I'm going to push download to robot. So it's actually going to send the code that I just wrote over to my little computer on my robot. Then I'm going to get a little screen. And of course, it went over to my other monitor for some reason. I should get this little screen right here, and while I'm plugged in, I can actually push start. Good, and if you can hear it, it actually is moving my motor. I can play it again if I want, and I can change it as many times as I'd like. Also, if you unplug the USB from your VEX, it will automatically run the program. And then after that, every time you turn it off, and then you turn it back on, it'll automatically run the program. So you can try it like that. If you have any problems, let me know. Ask people around or ask your group. You can even see if you can make something more complicated than this. Good luck.